He said, just a second. Because, better be a quick second. It's not going to be a quick second. It's going to be about 10 minutes. But I'm only going to talk for a quick second. So about 23 years ago, I met this 19-year-old guy, and I was 21. Thank you so much. I was 21, and I wasn't interested in meeting like an immature guy who was 2 years younger than me. But I quickly found out that he acted like a 34-year-old. So I had nothing to worry about. He was even more mature than I was. He knew exactly what God had called him to do, and he was pursuing that just completely, wholeheartedly. And he wasn't playing around. He knew what God had called him to do, and he knew where he was going with his life, and what he wanted, in his life and everything. So anyway, we were married 11 months later, and I never thought I would be a pastor's wife until I met him. So, but we were married 11 months later, and we kind of have grown up together and grown up in the ministry together and become parents together. And, now we know everything, and we're perfect, and we never make any mistakes. It's awesome. But throughout this entire journey, he has, well, first of all, let me back up and say tomorrow is his 43rd birthday. So he's an old man now. And I'm an old woman, as you can see. But tomorrow is his 43rd birthday, and God told me to do this a long time ago, but I've just been so sick. I just haven't been able to get here to do it. But God's timing is perfect. How many of y'all know that? His timing is perfect. And so, I don't know, he just spoke to me a few days ago, and he's like, this Sunday is when you need to do it. And I think it's perfect because he's been doing this series on, who we need to be. And he's been doing it on marriage and the family and what we need to look for. And basically who God wants us to be, and the type of family and marriage he wants us to have. And so he's starting families today, right? And so, what'd you say? Oh, parenting specifically. And so, but he wrapped up marriage. And so as he's getting ready to kind of transition from one topic, specifically to the next, I just thought, well, this is perfect. And I think God thought it was the perfect timing. But our whole 23 years together, it's not that he's a perfect man, but he is just a godly man. And he's perfect for me, and he's perfect for our children. And throughout our 23 years together, he has just instilled in us, in me and our children, that, Jesus is the one who really matters. And everything we've gone through, from the loss of our son to, church hurt, to financial hardship, to, through everything, every single, struggle that we've gone through, he has really just kept instilling that in us, that, God is the one who really matters. And at a particularly hard time in our life, a few years ago, there was a song that we just played on repeat every time we would get in the car. Well, actually, we played it in the house too, but especially when we were all in the car together. I just remember bellowing it out as a family. And this might sound really, I don't know, maybe, I think you guys all have times that maybe your family's going through something and just the little things matter and the little things bring you comfort. But on his days off, we would just do something as simple as just go to Walmart and get our groceries. And on the way, there was this little produce stand. I don't know if you remember. You'll recognize when you see the song. But we would stop at this produce stand, and like they had those little old-fashioned candy sticks that were like cinnamon and watermelon, and they have the little stripes going down. And there was just something he explained to the kids about how they were, old-fashioned, and he used to eat them as a kid, and the kids could get some fruit and everything. And then we would go get our groceries, and then we would drive, the half hour or 45 minutes back home. And it was just this simple thing we did on his day off, and we would just bellow out this song in the car and just worship there and back. But this song is what he instilled in us this whole 23 years. And I'm just going to ask you to worship with us this morning. I've asked the worship team, they helped me pull this off, and I asked them to put the music video to the song on so you could kind of, know the song and worship with us. But as I wash his feet, I'm just going to ask you to worship with us, because Jesus is truly the one who really matters. And you have a pastor who believes that and lives that. And in honor of his birthday, I would just like to, for us to worship to that together. And I just wanted to read you one verse. Julie, can you hand me my phone? We hold this real quick. I don't know my own password. Hold on. Okay. It's when Jesus is, washing, after he washes the disciples' feet, when their time together is coming to a close. My phone's not cooperating. Sorry. I may not be able to get it over really quickly, but you probably know it by heart. But anyway, he talks about how, he wants us to do this to each other. He washes the disciples' feet, and then he talks about how he'll love them to the very end. Oh, here it is. He says, do you understand? He says, you understand. This is John 13, verse 12. When he had washed their feet and put on his outer garments and resumed his place, he said to them, do you understand what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you also should do just as I have done to you. So I just, I want to wash my husband's feet today. I have red hair, and I'm a little bit fiery. And sometimes I just, I don't know. I'm not the meek and mild all the time wife, And I strive to be a godly wife, but I'm not always the meek and mild wife and everything. And I think sometimes the same thing I think my husband loves, that I'm, you love it, don't you? That I'm outgoing, and we have a lot of fun together. But at the same time, I can get riled up, And but I respect him so much, and I'm so in love with him. And he's my pastor too. And as much as I have fun with that, like, at night when we're going to bed and I want him to pray for me, and he's already like in bed and ready to go to sleep, and I'm like, but anoint me, I anoint me with oil, and he's like, no, I want to go to sleep, and he's like, I already prayed for you, and I'm like, but I want you, I'm like, anoint me with oil, and he's like, no, and I'm like, what's the point of being married to a pastor if I can't get anointed anytime I want? And he's like, ugh. And then he gets out of bed and he goes and he gets the oil and he comes back, So, as much as I have fun with the fact about, being married to him, and he's a pastor, he's my pastor, and he teaches me so much, and I respect him so much. So anyway, Anytime you're ready, Josh, if you want to put on that song. If you all just stand and worship with us as I wash his feet, and then we'll join you in worship.